Yo fellas, what is up? Yeah, I'm sorry you're looking at this ugly, messy hair looking dude, but this is the face reveal, and today I'm actually gonna go through my Lego collection with y'all. I don't know if you want this, or if this is gonna be a good video, because it's my first ever unscripted video. I know, you're like, you talk so naturally, I didn't even know that your videos are scripted. Well, they are, and so now you have to deal with looking at me for the whole video, or rather better, my Lego sets. And if you're wondering why we're in, like, the dungeons right now, this is where the tour starts. Alright, welcome to the dungeon. If I sound a bit pissed off in this video, it's because I just recorded the entire tour in the portrait mode instead of landscape, so I'm a little peeved that I have to redo this all again. But, you know, it gives me a chance to re-say some of the things I said earlier, maybe tweak them a little bit and make it better. So here we go. Starting off, Big Bear. Not Legos, but cool. Then, of course, on the floor, I had to make space, so moved all of my Lego Chima sets, or at least most of them, just wherever I could find space in this little furnace room here. But there's definitely some gems in here. Krager's command chip, of course, iconic. Mala's Iceman Stomper, I believe. That's probably my favorite Chima set, honestly. And then Mungus up top. Love these two from the Fire Wave. Laval's Fire Lines or Fangars. Was that one just the Saber-Tooth Tiger mech? Who knows? No! 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 Gorzan's Gorilla Stomper, I think. Stop it. And then, of course, some of the smaller vehicles, still great from Chima. This was a great one. Ice Bite's Claw Driller. Love to see that one. Then there's Scorm Scorpion Stinger. Season 2 of Chima sets, underrated along the Lego Chima line. Croc Swamp Hideout. Love to see that one. Not as good as the Lion Chi Temple, though. One of the most iconic Chima sets. Of course, you know, a lot of this nostalgia attached to that video. Attached to that set if you've seen my video for that. But I think that can kind of conclude the Chima display as we move on to bigger and better things. Cruising on, we can take a quick left into my scrapbooking room. And of course, there's a lot more than Lego here. This is my parents' house. I'm only 18. This is my first year of college. I'm just back on Thanksgiving. So I gotta be thankful for the space that they do give me in this house to display my little puppies. But anyway, starting off right here, you can see we have the majority of my Ninjago movie collection. That includes all 6 of the Ninja's vehicles. I was super happy when I got all of them. We got the Quake mech, Kai's Fire mech, the Green Ninja Mech Dragon, Water Strider, great deal for only 30 bucks that one was. Ice Tank, Lightning Jet, probably my favorite of the 6, unless you count the Quake mech. Quake mech was my favorite, but then I realized that with the slightest of touch, his arms just fold. Then we have the villain vehicles, the Garma Mecha Man, Garmadon, some of the smaller little fellas, and then the Dark Fortress back there.
That is not correct.
And I got even more of the smaller sets in the middle here. Master Falls, Ninjago City Chase, and then if you turn around, you can see this is where the magic happens. This is most of my Ninjago sets right here. Might as well start in the top right over here. This is kind of my wild brain shelf, this top one is. So starting off with Season 11, we have the Fire Tractor and the Land Bounty. Love that set. Then we move on to Lloyd's Titan mech. Very happy to get that one. Then I got just the dragon from the Ice Emperor's Temple set. Got it on Bricklink for about 30 bucks, so definitely a good deal on that one. Moving on to Season 12, we got Prime Empire, so I just got the Empire Temple of Madness with all the necessary minifigs, some from Bricklink, some from that set. And moving on from there, we have one of my favorite Wild Brain displays with my Master of the Mountains display. You can see we have the Skull Sorcerer's Dragon. Great set right there in and of its own. And then I have sort of a custom set here. It's the Firestone mech, but I made it just the stone mech because I color swapped a lot of the fire side. And then I, of course, gave it some knees so it's not sitting on the toilet at all times. And moving on a little bit, we have my small little island display. I got all the Island Ninja off of Bricklink and then just the minifigures from this set, so I think that's a pretty comprehensive display for the island. Then we have Seabound, which is a little bit bigger. Got the 3 biggest sets from that wave. We have the Temple of the Endless Sea with, of course, Wojira. Then we have Bada Bing Bada Boom, the Water Dragon. Lovely set for Nia there. And then the best Seabound set has got to be the Hydro Bounty. And moving on from there, one of my favorite shelves because it has all my possession sets, including this beauty, the Moro Dragon, then a lot of the smaller possession side builds, and then the Chain Cycle Ambush. Love that little fella right there. Then we have the Meckenstein with transitioning to the ninja sets. We have the Boulder Blaster and Zane's Titan mech to combat the Meckenstein in that fun little set. Then we have the overhated Jaywalker 1 and Ronin Rex next to the beloved Master Wu Dragon. and of course, the final flight of Destiny's Bounty. Many a times have I stabbed myself on this little pike. Then moving on to one of my nostalgic displays, we have Season 2. This was the first season that I started watching and collecting Ninjago. Speaking of, there's the first set I ever got, Kai's Fire Mech. And then we have both Boulder Blasters.
Missed it by that much.
Legacy, of course, such an upgrade, definitely one of my favorite sets right there. Then we have the Golden Dragon, the original, versus the Overlord Dragon Legacy, with the big Stone Warrior back there. And to close it off, we have the Garmatron and Warrior Bike, two more overhated sets. But of course, we gotta look at those beautiful kimono ninjas right there. Then moving one shelf below, we have kind of my 2018 display, starting off with Hunted. I have the Diesel Knot and Firstborn. Only two sets from Hunted, but I feel like that's kind of comprehensive enough. I got all the minifigures that I need. And then similarly, we have Sons of Garmadon, not the most comprehensive display, but I got the stuff I need. We got Street Racer Snake Jaguar with the Ninja Nightcrawler. SOG Headquarters, not one of my favorite sets there, but it came with a pretty sweet ultraviolet minifig. And then moving on, we got the Katana V11, great little $20 set right there. Sleek, super cool boat. And then, of course, the Temple of Resurrection, very valuable these days. I think it's alright. Then moving one more over, we got my Season 1 display. Starting off, we got the Legacy Zane's Snowmobile and Kai's Blade Cycle, right next to the glorious Legacy Ultra Dragon. And then, of course, moving one more, we got the Legacy Stormfighter. Don't have the OG Stormfighter. As you can see, the only of the OG vehicles I don't have, but this one's just such a better set that I thought, no need to get it. Then we have the Tread Assault. Just picked this one up about a month ago, actually. Probably my most recent set in this room. Very happy to finally have it, and of course, it came with, where are you? There's Scales. Love to see that guy. He's right next to the OG Kai's Fire Bike. No, Kai's Blade Cycle, pardon me. And then he's right in front of the OG Samurai Mech, one of the best sets that year. And then we got Zane's Snowmobile accompanying the lovely Fang Pyre Truck, one of my favorite 2012 sets as well. And that's right behind Lasha's Bite Cycle. Hey, so update from a day later. I was able to find a good price and pick up this puppy, the Ultrasonic Raider. So now my Season 1 shelf looks very congested and honestly not that great, but you know, it was worth it. Got it for a good price. It's a sweet set, and there's your update. Then after that, my small little pilots display. I just have the Skull Motorbike and Skull Truck, which in my opinion is the best 2011 set, and then they're accompanied by the Monastery of Spinjitzu from Legacy. And going from the OG, we have the final season of the regular Ninjago show with Crystallized. Starting off with Lloyd's Golden Ultra Dragon. Love this set, except for the wings and arguably the heads, but overall a great little guy. The Crystal King facing off against him with all my dragon form ninja surrounding him. Then moving on a bit past that, we have Nia's new Samurai Mech, one of my favorite mechs in my collection. Right in front of that, hiding a little bit, is Zane's Golden Dragon Glider. And then the rest of the Ninja Golden Dragon sets, we have Kai's Golden Dragon Raider, Jay's Golden Dragon Motorcycle, and Cole's Golden Dragon Cruiser. Right behind him is boom, Pixel's Ninja Ultra Combo Mech. Yes, it's a core set, but I thought it kind of fit pretty well here. And then finally, we have the Crystal King Temple. Just behind them, this is the final shelving display in this room. We have the kind of some of the core minifigs back there. They're sitting behind the City of Styx. Definitely one of the best possession sets. Love the boat side build and the big gazebo, temple, city build, whatever you call it. Super tall, super awesome right there. And then one last possession set, I have the Legacy Zane's Titan Mech. Definitely one of the best mechs that Ninjago released. And then finally we have my, or not quite finally, but we have my Dragon's Rising Season 2 display. As you can see back there, we have two of the little combinable mechs back there. I just have Kai's and Cole's. Love those guys. We have Young Dragon Ryu, great little set right there, in front of the Wolf Mask Shadow Dojo. Moving on, we have the Source Dragon of Motion, in my opinion, the biggest and best Ninjago dragon there is. And then an even bigger boy,
I'm gonna get you over my head like a big boy,
is the Tournament Temple City. Very ornate, lovely set right there. And then right in front, we have the Tournament Battle Arena. I have a cool little Evil J versus Nia display right there. There's the dragon that came with Tournament Temple City. Moving on, of course, we have Egalt, the Master Dragon, chilling right there with his cool little top hat. Kai's Climber Mech, definitely one of the most unique sets released this year. Aaron's Ninja off-road buggy car. Super long name, super big price, but I got it on sale, so it's all good. And then here's the best Ninjago mech ever. We have the best dragon and the best mech ever released in the same season. Cole's Titan Dragon mech. Sorry if my voice cracked a couple times there, but I'm a little bit under the weather if you couldn't tell. And then here we go. The Temple of the Ultimate Weapon. We started with Ninjago movie in this room and we're gonna end with it. Lovely, underrated set right there. And even better is the Ninjago movie Destiny's Bounty. In my opinion, the best bounty they've ever released. Super ornate, lovely build, up and down, and all around. Super glad to have that one. Here's one last look at my Ninjago display in this room. With, of course, these guys too, as we're backing out, backing out, backing out. Lights off. And here we have a couple more things in my basement. Starting off with this little cupboard. Open. We have board games, and then boom, Legos. A lot of stuff from the Lego movie here. We have Bad Cops Pursuit, Super Secret Police Dropship. That's probably one of my favorites in the Ninjago movie. Sorry for the camera work there. We have Metal Beard's Duel. I love me some Metal Beard. We have whatever that set was called from the second Lego movie. It's a very good set. Definitely glad to have it. And then we have Emmett's Constructo mech, definitely one of the more iconic sets from the Lego movie. And then we have Benny's Spaceship, definitely my favorite set that I have from the Lego movie. And then moving on a little bit past that, we have my minuscule Lego Batman movie display. Actually, I think it's the best of the Lego movies, but sadly my display does not represent that very well. We have Catwoman's Cat Cycle, the Joker Balloon Escape, and the Riddler's Riddle Racer, I think is what it was called. And then of course we have a little tiny little Christmas display right there.
It's Christmas!
And then some leftover Chima. Not my favorite shelf in my collection, but definitely happy to have all of these little fellas. As we close out, skadoosh. We have one more cupboard to look at. Open thing 1, open thing 2, and here we go. One last Ninjago shelf, and we're actually going to start at the bottom here. We have one last Chima set, the Flying Phoenix Fire Temple, in the midst of my Lego Marvel collection, at least the ones down here. It's mostly those Infinity War sets. In fact, I think it's all the Infinity War sets, at least that of the time the movie released. And then of course I have the Civil War Airport Battle. You can see the starts of it there. There's the Quinjet back there. And then Ant-Man or Giant Man right there. And then of course I have the Homecoming sets as well. There is the Vulture. And their little van is also back there. And then finally moving on to Infinity War, we have the Wakandan Gate. Came with some great minifigs there. The 2018 Hulkbuster, definitely better than the 2015 one. Probably not as good as the 2023 one though, but it's much better value. And then the original Sanctum Sanctorum with that lovely arm-printed Iron Spider. Love to see that guy right there. And then there's the Benatar, the original one. I don't have the UCS style version, but still very glad to have that one. And then, let's see, there's one more. Oh, there it is. Who could forget the Outrider Outpost? Moving on up, we have my Day of the Departed and Hands of Time display. If the camera wants to focus, there we go. Starting off, we have Chen's Dino with the Ultra Stealth Raider. Probably my favorite set on this shelf. That one's just too iconic. Then we have the Titanium Ninja Tumbler and the Rock Rotor. Some very good sets from Day of the Departed right there. And now Hands of Time, probably my favorite season when it released. I can definitely see the flaws now, although I still do think it's genuinely enjoyable. Starting off, we have the Destiny's Shadow front and center right here. In addition to the the Desert Lightning, his little accompany right there. And then there's Jay himself right there. And then of course you have the Dawn of Iron Doom right here, super obvious with those coveted Hands of Time minifigs. Then we have the Vermilion Invader and some of the swamp back there. Going a bit higher, can we get much higher? We have my Tournament of Elements display. Not the best sets to accompany this season, but a very lovely season nonetheless, so gotta have some representation. We have the Kondrai Crusher, I believe. OG Boulder Blaster back there. Jay's Electromech, Jungle Raider, and some of the smaller sets. We have the Jungle Trap and the Lava Falls. And then moving on to Skybound, one of my favorite seasons, because of course it's the main season for my boy Jay and his Elemental Dragon, which I'm super happy they made. And that Jay Skybound figure is one of my favorite ninja all time. Then we have the Raid Zeppelin back there, the Sky Shark, and of course Misfortune's Keep. Very obvious front and center, one of my favorites there. Then we have the two little Skybound bikes for Kai and Nia. And then back there, you can see we have Cole's Dragon. And then one above there, we have my rebooted collection. Starting off with the villains, we have the Hover Hunter, the Overborg Attack, and then back there we have the Destructoid. There we go. Here's the Nindroid Mech Dragon, one of my favorites right there. Super technical villainy look. We have multiple vehicles for Kai. We have the iconic Kai Fighter, one of my favorites. And of course the X1 Ninja Charger back there. And if I can get all the way back there, you can see we have Nia's car. And then we have the Thunder Raider, featuring the Raider and the mech. There's Lloyd's little bike from the Overborg Attack. And then there's the Ninja Copter. And then one last shelf up here, we have my Dragons Rising Season 1 display with a couple core sets to boot because I thought they fit. There's Lloyd's Legendary Dragon. I thought I could kind of fill in for the Matriarch. Zane's Core Dragon, which of course showed up in the season multiple times. There's the Empress Mech versus Jiro, the Elemental Dragon back there. Love my boy. And there's Heatwave transforming Lava Dragon. Oh, looks like you need your toenail adjusted there, my friend. Thank you. Then the two mechs that go along with Dragons Rising Season 1 are the Combo Mech from Lloyd, and then Aaron's chilling over there. And then probably my favorite mech until I got Cole's Titan Dragon Mech is Jay's Titan Mech. Definitely a lot of Jay bias going on right there. And then here's my personal favorite Dragons Rising Season 1 set, the Temple of the Dragon Energy Cores. So we can close this. Boom. And move on to my final Lego display here in the basement. So yes, right here, we'll finish with that top section later. We have The Office, probably one of the few TV shows that I've actually seen flowing through. Generally not a TV guy, but I love The Office. So we got the set right there, kind of just had to, you know. And we have a little sneak peek of what's to come right there. And the NES, one of my favorite sets in my collection. I love the features and I love the overall build. It just looks too realistic. And I kind of love these human scale sets that they come out with. I just think they're super cool. And then of course, moving on up, we have my Ninjago City display. I don't have all the sets, of course, but I have the two best in my opinion. Starting off with the markets. There's just too much good stuff to look at. Some great minifigs coming over in that one. Definitely the best minifig selection of any of the Ninjago City sets. And I thought it was fitting to have my 10th anniversary Golden Woo chilling right there. And then of course, probably my favorite set in my collection is Ninjago City Gardens. A lot of people think this is the best Ninjago City set, and I definitely agree with them there. Just some beauty all around. Definitely the best color usage in all the city sets. Some great building techniques. Some decent minifigs in that one too. And it's of course the tallest, which is definitely a good feature to have. But now, if you'll join me upstairs, we have some more sets to look at. We have found ourselves in my room. I'm not going to give you a full room tour because it is messy. I am a teenage boy after all, but starting off above my closet right here, we have some of the architecture sets back there. You know, not some of my favorites, but I'm still happy that I have them, so I kind of have them hiding back there a little bit. We have the 2015 Kylo Ren's Command Shuttle. I still think that's a good set, even though the 2019 one is obviously better. Then we have Poe Dameron's X-Wing right there. Honestly, one of the best X-Wings that they've made, just from the color scheme alone. And I think what is the best TIE Fighter is the First Order TIE Fighter. Just that little stripe of red adds so much to it. And then right next to it, of course, we have the Force Awakens Millennium Falcon. I mean, you gotta have at least one Millennium Falcon in your displays, right? And then right next to that, we have the Imperial Light Cruiser from Season 2 of The Mandalorian. Picked this one up randomly at a Bricks and Minifigs a couple months ago. Definitely glad to own it though. And then hiding back there is the Droid Escape Pod from 2012, I believe, from C-3PO and R2-D2 and the Sand Troopers. And then right there is everyone's favorite set, the Coruscant Guard gunship, with everyone's favorite clone trooper, Commander Fox. But no, I generally think this is a really cool set. And, you know, it's definitely not as good as the 2013 gunship, but I still think it's really cool just aesthetically to look at. And then moving on from the top of my closet, we have just the top of my dresser right here with an attempted and original trilogy display. Of course, as you know, my Star Wars collection is not complete by any means necessary, but you know, if you watch my most wanted Star Wars sets, that one aged like a glass of milk, because here is the number one from that list. I actually picked it up yesterday at a Bricks and Minifigs. It's the 2017 Y-Wing. But hey, even though it makes that video a bit outdated, I'm still very happy to own this little thing. Then right behind that, we have the 2023 TIE Bomber. 2015 Death Star Duel, 2016 AT-ST, and the 2024 Imperial Star Destroyer. And finally on this shelf, we have one more icon set. It's the NASA Space Shuttle Discovery. Love that build, very clean. And then we have the Hubble Space Telescope right in front of it. One of the best side builds to a set ever. Then transitioning over to this side, this is probably one of the best views you can get of Legos in this house. We'll start way over here. At the top, you can see Thor's hammer and the Black Panther set, two of the best Lego Marvel display sets. Of course, Black Panther overpriced, but I got it for $160 at a Bricks and Minifigs, so, you know, definitely worth it on that one. And then my little attempt at a Return of the Jedi display, we have Luke's X-Wing fighter. I have it in the downward pose because most of the time this is going to be above eye level, sort of at least, so you don't want to see the underside. And then we have the TIE Interceptor from this year, two lovely UCS sets, and then the Star Destroyer, or the Super Star Destroyer Executor right there. Moving on one below, another pop culture shelf, this time from the 80s. We have the original Ecto 1 from Ideas, the Icons Ecto 1, and then the Icons DeLorean. This is definitely one of my favorite shelves. I love the way it's spaced out, and of course those are two great sets right there. Moving on down, we have kind of an Ahsoka based shelf, or at least an Ahsoka adjacent one. Definitely one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. Her show was kind of alright, I liked it in general, but I love the sets from that, which is why we have the 2023 Ghost, Shin Hati's Starfighter versus New Republic E-Wing, and then of course the T6 Jedi Shuttle. And then I have that Mandalorian Starfighter from 2021 back there just because I thought it fit. And then the bottom shelf on this little shelving unit is my attempt at a prequels display. Sort of a clone battle, but not the best one. We have the gift with purchase this year, the Droid Carrier, and then we have the 2024 Battle Droid vs. Clone Troopers Battle Pack, kind of scattered everywhere. We have the 2015 Naboo Starship, which is one of my favorite sets to build, actually. I remember loving the build process of that set. Oh, and then we have Obi-Wan Starfighter and Interceptor. I think I got those right. I always get those mixed up, though. And then the 2022 AT-AT with all the 212 troopers.
How could I be so stupid?
And then finally, this is the final shelf in my room that we'll go over, starting off with probably my favorite, if not second favorite set in my collection. Or actually, no, Ninjago City Gardens is definitely my first favorite. This is probably my third or second. But we have the UCS Venator Class Republic Attack Cruiser. In my opinion, easily one of the best UCS sets released today. I was very happy to own this set with the Captain Rex minifigure. That is a lot better than what a lot of people think. And then behind that, we have the 2024 Milano, definitely one of the best sets released this year from that original Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And then one last set to kind of end it all out here. We have the 2023 Avengers Tower. Definitely the tallest set in my collection and easily one of the ones that I'm proudest to own. But yeah, that is gonna do it. Thank you fellas so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Let me know if you want more videos with this ugly guy actually being featured in them instead of just faceless reviews, or not reviews, list videos. I should definitely you stupid. I should definitely stay with the scripted videos is what I'm learned from this video though. I will see y'all fellows later. Have a great day.